Hello, I'm Joni Adamson, a President's Professor at Arizona State University and Director of the North American Observatory of the Humanities for the Environment Global Network. Welcome to this panel titled Radical Imaginations Beyond the Anthropocene II. This is the second of two linked panels showcasing the ongoing work of scholars affiliated with Humanities for the Environment or the HfE network. Our two panels highlight different responses to environmental and social emergencies through strategies emerging from the arts, humanities, social sciences, and community connections, specifically as they are illustrated by scholars, groups, and projects affiliated with the North American Observatory of the HfE and the Latin American Observatory. I would like to thank our two organizers of these panels, Abigail Perez Aguilera and Vera Coleman, who I will introduce in a few minutes because they are both presenting on this panel. But here let me just observe that we could not have had two more professional or patient organizers or two organizers more giving of their time and energy. We are incredibly grateful for their dedication to the North and Latin American HfE observatories. By way of announcement, in the last 3 years, HfE has worked with the United Nations Education, Science, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, and SIPISH, the International Council of Philosophy and Human Sciences, toward our aspirational mission to make the humanities and humanities-led projects central to the sustainability sciences at the international level. Bridges is the first and only Humanities Center Sustainability Science program within the UNESCO organization, and thus will be the go-to resource for UNESCO for expertise, advice, engagement, and endorsement from the humanities on sustainability science, education, policy, action, etc. The HfE Global Network has designed our two linked panels, Radical Imaginations Beyond the Anthropocene, to specifically showcase how the humanities are radically imagining innovative projects and scholarship that is challenging hegemonic perception of justice, gender, ethnicity, race, and other dimensions in the context of environmental crises. If you have not already viewed Panel 1, chaired by Bethany Wiggin, we invite you to do so. Then, please spend time with our panel, which focuses on the work of the Latin American Observatory. Finally, please join us for an open discussion of both panels on August 3 Eastern Time from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our speakers and their presentations. The first presenter is my friend and colleague, Dr. Juan Carlos Galeano, who was born in the Amazon region of Colombia. He is director of the Latin American Observatory and an international poet, environmentalist, and academic. He is the author of multiple books of poetry and also director of 2 documentary films, including El Rio, featured on the background of this slide. He teaches at Florida State University, and his presentation is titled The Soul of Plants and Animals. Gisela Jeffes is a writer and associate professor of Latin American literature and culture at Rice University. She is the co-editor of the Latin American Ecocultural Reader and Pushing Past the Human in Latin American Cinema. Her most recent fiction is Sophia La Belle. Professor Jeffes' paper is titled Radical Futures, The Semantics of Toxicity in Latin American Literatures. Vera Coleman, one of the amazing organizers of our 2 linked panels today, teaches and directs the Spanish language program at Carleton College in Northfield, Minnesota. As I mentioned earlier, we thank her deeply for organizing these 2 linked panels. Her latest work appears in ASLE and Letras Femeninas. Her presentation is titled The Fiber of Our Being, Non-Human Corporealities and Indigenous Ecologies in Mexican Art. Natalia Hernandez Vidal is a visiting scholar at University of North Texas. She has a doctorate in sociology from Loyola University Chicago. Her presentation is titled Entangled Temporalities and the Problematization of Climate Emergency in Movements for Environmental Justice and Food Sovereignty in Latin America. Gabriela Francis is a decolonial scholar, writer, artist, organizer, and healer who recently graduated with a BA from the New School. Their presentation is titled Reinventing Ancestry Through Mixed Media Performance. Our final presenter is Abigail Perez Aguilera, the second of our fabulous HfE linked panel organizers. We are also deeply thankful to her as well. Dr. Perez Aguilera teaches in the Department of Global Studies at the New School in New York, or the Lenape-Hoking Territory. Her presentation is titled Radical Imaginations and Pilgrimages in the Capitalocene, Eco-Media in Times of Emergence and Resurgence. With that, I turn the time over to our amazing, storied, and fabulous panel. Thank you.